What is up guys, Zach here from the Chaos Galaxy, and today I'll be showing you the oldest of TCGs. Now if you've seen this series before, you'll know my very first old TCG video. I showed you my first ever card game called Little Doods, which was actually a lie. Well, it wasn't quite a lie, it's just this version of Little Doods wasn't really the first version of Little Doods. The first version of Little Doods was even littler. Literally, the cards are tiny. I think I was about 9 years old when I made this, and they're even proportionally small for a 9-year-old. I actually didn't even know whether it was worth showing on this channel because I think the game's so bad, but I feel like it's important for you guys who are aspiring to be good artists and card game makers in general. A lot of people message me saying, oh, I'm terrible at art, I can never make a trading card game. Well, if your artwork can go from this being one of the best cards in your game to this being one of the best cards in the game, I feel like there's hope for everyone kind of thing. And that's why I'm showing you this game, because although it's terribly bad, it's quite entertaining for you guys, and I feel like hopefully it'll inspire some people and kind of give you that push you need to improve your artwork. So without further ado, I'll show you Little Doods Season 0. And also something else that I think is quite fun about this is that a lot of the characters have stayed the same. So Gregor here, the card I made when I was 8 years old, has still been put in to the most recent version of Little Doods, which I made in 2016. And the cards are still very similar, so that's quite fun. But yeah, these cards were made by just drawing on printer paper and then applying sticky back plastic. I can't remember what the name is in America, but just applying that to the back of the cards and then drawing the logo, which is actually still the same logo as Little Doods today. We can't see it there, but the same logo that I used in the most recent version of Little Doods. So like I said, the first card is Gregor with a score of 980 out of 1,000, so he's a very good card. I believe he was the 3rd strongest in the game. He's taken a considerable score hit since then, going down to 610, but still not a bad card at all. I'm sorry, I don't know where to hold these in front of the camera. They're literally so tiny. You can fit like 4 of them in a single card. I feel like I was abnormally small when I was 9 years old. The next card we have is Fireball. Pretty standard, just a fireball heading for Earth, 700 score. Although these cards aren't well made, I think the amount of detail and time and effort I put into each one is actually really good. Like there's not a single piece of white on the illustration. I've gone to the effort of drawing stars and the planet and space in the background, so you know, I had a lot of patience when I was 9. Some of the names are questionable. Here we have Kuwakua, 520, pretty happy guy. Next up we have Super Bunny. I used to have pet rabbits when I was younger. A lot of these cards are inspired by things I was interested in at the time. 700 score, so not bad. We then have Space Invaders. I didn't really get the concept of copywriting when I was 9 years old, and again, I must have been enjoying a Space Invaders game around this time. So Space Invaders are a part of Little Doods, and a 900 score is very good as well. We've then got Flaggy, spelt Flaggy, with a score of 930, which I don't really feel suits the card. I feel like in Little Doods now he'd be a 150 score or something. We then have Robot Warrior 2. I couldn't find 1 or 3, but there's Robot Warrior 2. Don't really get the artwork. I think he's aiming his hand cannon right at the camera. But I wasn't too good at drawing perspective back then. We then have, I think artwork wise, this is my favourite. It's Giant Scarud, 700, and I think he looks quite scary. Oh, I think this is one of my favourites too. It's Tai Virus, and he is actually a card that's in the most current version of Little Doods and has actually stayed very true to the original art. Like the shapes of the viruses and the colour scheme has even stayed the same. So I think that's pretty cool, and this is actually quite a sort of fan favourite card from Little Doods, the most recent season, so that's really good to see. We then have Flignig. I feel that name's really questionable now, so I won't spend too much time talking about him. We then have another complete rip-off of a real thing, Crazy Frog, because why not? Looks nothing like the XL-F Crazy Frog, but with a score of 910, he's not to be sniffed at. We've then got Gom Gom, 290. We've then got Ghosty, which is really creepy. Doesn't really look like my art style, so not sure what I was doing there. We've then got Machine Weirdo, who must have changed pen for because all the other ones are done in black and he's drawn in blue biro. Also, I think I've forgotten to actually colour in his artwork, but he's got a score of 720. We've then got Akin Bon, who when I found him I really appreciated the detail I'd gone to in drawing his background. although the card has actually like folded in half inside the sticky back plastic, so guess he must be a rare. And this one's funny. When I was 9, I had a friend called Ben Wilmers, and just as a joke, I thought I'd make him into the worst card in the game. Although he's taken on the form of some kind of jellyfish, I'm not sure what. But he is the card with a score of 100, so he's the equivalent to Blair in current Little Dudes. So Ben Wilmers, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're not, but there's a shout out for you. Then got Headless Horseman. I've never seen someone ride a horse like that. I've never actually seen a horse like that, but must be quite a powerful horse because he's got a score of 900. I feel like probably about half the cards have a score of above 900. Oh, this one's good. The Snappies. This is the strongest card I could find. Most of the cards I've actually lost, unfortunately. But the Snappy family, although I've lost the individual Mr., Mrs. and Baby Snappy, you can see them all there on the artwork. With Snappy Jr., the son, who didn't actually make it into the most recent season of Little Dudes. There's Mr. Snappy on the right. Mama Snappy on the left. And then in the middle, still coming out of his egg, 10 years later, we have Baby Snappy. We've then got Bigfoot. Not much to say about him. Got pretty big feet. Then Evil Ape. I think another film another thing I was a fan of at the time was King Kong. The 2003 Peter Jackson King Kong film came out around the time I made this, so this is probably based off that. We then have Cronnog with 620. Then Evil Penguin with a score of 690, and he's saying some. I think he's doing an evil laugh there, like muhahaha. Next card is Mushu. I'm really having to squint to see these cards. They're so small. I don't know why I made them so small. I don't know if I only had one sheet of paper handy at the time, and I need to cram as many cards into it as possible. We then have Mr. 1000 Heads. I think 1000 is a bit of an exaggeration, but 720 score, so he's not bad. The final one, which is one of my favourites, is Blobby the... Who knows? I actually think I've written something there which I've Tipp-X'd out and then accidentally laminated sticky back plastic over the card before I rewrote the name, which was a bit stupid of me. Although there is a card in the more recent season of Little Dudes called Blobby the Green, so that's probably what I was going for. But then they're all the cards I could find, unfortunately. Most of them have been lost because I made the game over 10 years ago. I'm surprised I have any of them left. Also, they're so freaking small they could get lost anywhere. But some of the cards that I remember from this game that made it into later seasons of Little Dudes are Plig Nunu. As you can see, he's been in all seasons. Ton and on was the 1000 score card in this season of Little Dudes. Little Dude wasn't actually a card until season 2, so Ton and on was the main. I guess he was the antagonist because he's always been an evil character. He was the one to watch out for. He's a very good card. Fat Man as well, who now I feel is pretty politically incorrect these days. Back when not everyone got offended by everything. We then have Itsy Bitsy was the last one, who's made it into the most recent season of Little Dudes. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I know this was quite a short episode of my old TCGs, however, like I said, I've lost a lot of the cards here. But I think it's really interesting. I hope you enjoyed this showcase of weird, terrible old cards. Let me know what your favourite card is, and let me know if there are any cards in here that you'd like to see in one of my newer TCGs, like Chaos Galaxy or Little Dudes or something. Obviously, I can't pick ones like Space Invaders or Crazy Frog, because that's just straight up copyright. Also, I feel like Ben Wilmers is just straight up bullying, so I wouldn't want to put that in. But I think my favourite card is probably Giant Screwed Bit because of its artwork. Tai Virus, I also really love how it's kind of stayed the same as I've got older. And then the face, the derpy horse in Headless Horseman, I feel like is definitely strong meme potential for the channel. And then Blobby too. But I feel like I've exhausted a lot of the cards that were actually viable to kind of take on to next TCGs. But anyway, let me know what you think of this very early season of Little Dudes. I hope it inspires you. If you think your artwork is this bad, I'm sure it's not. And just think of how far I've kind of come with my games, and hopefully use that to inspire yourself to work harder, and become a better artist. So that's it for this video. Many thanks for watching. If you haven't entered my current October 2018 designer card contest for the Chaos Galaxy TCG, and make sure you enter it. If you want to buy any packs of Chaos Galaxy cards or the current Little Doods Legends game, there'll be a link to the online store in the description below. Follow me on Instagram at Chaos Galaxy TCG and stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.